What up, you lab rats? This is episode number 68, and this episode is all about tips, Tuesday tips, and I'm going to give you some tough love tips. Stay tuned. Hello, my friends, and welcome to the Lab Rat Dailies show, the in-between show, the main show on the Get in the Lab podcast with Kevin and I talking about building a business together. Every day here on the Lab Rat Dailies, we have a theme. Today's theme on Tuesday is Tuesday Tips. I give you tips on stuff. Today, I'm going to give you 5 tips that kept me as a content creator and somebody who's a aspiring YouTuber from being noticed. Okay, so these, I want to remind you that they're all just from my experience, and I spent a lot of time making videos for about 1 to 2 years before they actually started to make traction and started connecting with people. So, good things. I hope you guys tuned in yesterday for Motivation Monday episode with Natalie Miller. We were talking about Veda and us hosting our own kind of Veda thingy, B2C Veda from beginner to creator. Veda, again, is vlogging every day in April or August. You can also check out, I think it's now confirmed now that Amy Schmidauer, the content creator behind Savvy Sexy Social and SSS Veda, which is a Veda event that got me into vlogging in the first place last year. I would like you to check out her thing as well. I'll leave all that stuff in the description. But anyway, to come on back to yesterday's episode, super fun, really, to talk about Veda and how we got started vlogging and how we started to create content. And that kind of ties in with today's episode because there were about 5 things I would say that kind of kept me from being discovered and kept me from not being able to connect with you guys, right? So let's get into that, all right? Because we want to keep these Lab Rat Dailies under 15 minutes. Let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing was I didn't have a clear message. And guys, I really wanted to have a clear message, but it wasn't there. There was so much inner work that I needed to kind of work through just as somebody who had gone from this other lifestyle to this new lifestyle where now I could actually do something that I wanted to do and be passionate about it. And that was all a lot for me to handle. And so I think I had a lot of, personal things that I had to kind of get through. I had to deal with how I was going to communicate this new lifestyle to the people around me and how they were going to take it. And it was really difficult because I know I had something honest and genuine and helpful to say, but there was just so much stuff I had to deal with personally, right? And so I couldn't really move forward, and a lot of times it led into my next tip was, my delivery of the content, it was shit. Like if you look back, and I'm sure every YouTuber says this, if you look back at my first videos, they were crappy or whatever. I think all YouTubers kind of feel like that. When they first started, it was terrible. It was terrible. I think like 99.99% of all YouTubers say that. But the point is, you've got to kind of get through that, grungy, grimy, ugly, awkward, weird stage of making videos because it is weird. It is weird. This is a new age, Nobody just sets up a camera in their room, 50 years ago and talks to it like it's a person, okay? So if somebody were to peek in on me right now, it would be very, very awkward, right? And so there is always this kind of awkwardness that goes around making videos. And in the beginning, it is weird as hell. And if your delivery of that content, of whatever message you're trying to put out, is crappy, then yeah, that's going to be one of the things that kind of keeps you from being discovered, right? So next thing, even though you become aware of that, like, I need to get better. I feel like a lot of people, and myself included, will watch other content creators, other YouTubers, for example, and start to take on their personality types and start to sound like other people. And that just kind of happens because we all, as humans, learn that way. We learn by imitating. We learn by copying. It's a very rudimentary, childlike sort of thing. And it's a good thing to be able to copy somebody else so that we can learn and experience these new things, such as creating video. But if you can't really move past that, because that's a really great way to copy and to, like, be in their shoes for a little bit. That's a great way to get your feet wet as a YouTuber and to kind of know what that feels like to be more animated, or to bring a certain performance to how you deliver the content. It's really helpful to do that, to go through the motions, right? That's why, when actors fall in love on screen, they often will fall in love in real life. And so it's really great exercise to go through the motions of it, so you can kind of get your feet wet and really taste what it feels like to be, a proper content creator. However, after saying all of that, there will be a time when you need to move on and create your own style. And it's just like, I don't know, we can kind of relate this to wedding photography in my kind of background, which was, you learn from whoever's teaching you and you kind of copy their style because that's all you know, that's what you are exposed to. But for the most part, if you keep doing that, it gets boring, it gets stale. And of course, because you were copying and because you didn't have your own flair or your own style, you're just another one of this, or you're just an imitation of this. And so that's never really a label that we want to put on ourselves for the rest of our, content creation lives, right? So if it's forced and you're trying to do this thing and it's a forced kind of thing, I would really start to experiment and do your own thing. Like, what is it that you do? And then how is it that you actually really talk, Okay, so next tip. All right. This ties into what I just said. Another tip of why you're not being discovered or noticed is because, you sound like everybody else, right? So if you sound like everybody else, there's nothing really attractive about that. People like exclusivity, or people like to be a part of a community that is, special in some sort of way. I could take a bunch of YouTubers that appeal to me because they in fact deliver something to me that I can't get anywhere else, and I really, really love that. So like the Hodge twins, for example, or and these are all pretty like off the wall examples, but like for them, they give really honest, genuine advice and commentary. And for one thing, it's just super funny. And the way that they are funny is gold. To me, it's hilarious. And so you kind of want to bank on that. There's somebody out there who's really going to dig your awkwardness or your beauty or your whatever, there's somebody out there who's gonna kind of revel in that thing that is you, which is really cool, right? It's super cool because it kind of eliminates any competition. All right, last tip. Okay, so we all know that branding is important. Of course, here on the Lab Rat Dailies, I'm all about personal branding and how things look. This I kind of always fight with myself. I try to be more marketable by like doing my makeup, doing my hair, because that takes a lot of work, right? I mean, guys wake up, they roll out of bed and they're like, whoop, 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 and then they're done. But for women, for girls, it's a little bit more work, I would say. For me, it is, okay? Like, you got to deal with all this hair is a work. So, but I still understand and realize how important it is to package this content in the best way possible that I know how, that is still true to me, right? So another thing is, if you're creating content, you're creating videos, and your branding looks half-baked. That's the easiest way I can say it, okay? That's the nicest way I could say it. If your branding looks half-baked, like things are stretched out, things don't fit, hair is not done, things like that. Things are half-baked. You're most likely not going to get noticed. I mean, compared to all of these other people with their thumbnails and they look pretty or whatever. I mean, it's kind of shallow to point that out, but if you're not aware of it and if you think that doesn't make a difference, then you're wrong. Packaging always makes a difference. I mean, we are all like marketers, we're always kind of won over by good packaging. We know what's going on, and perhaps we're still looking for good content behind that good packaging, but we know packaging makes a difference. Okay. So, super, super quick on this one, guys, keeping it 10 minutes. That's pretty good. good things coming up tomorrow on the Get in Lab podcast with Kevin and I. We're talking about, I think, like ways that we started to work smarter. And as always, we're always kind of upgrading and systemizing how we work together as a couple, because that is that is in fact always a like ever evolving type of system around here. We have a very different type of vibe of working together, because we work from home and we work together on a lot of things, and now we've kind of separated but are still working together. It can get crazy. So we're going to update you guys on that show on how we are doing that. And anybody who's kind of going through the same dynamic, I think it would be helpful. So good things, guys. Veda, sign up. You can participate with me in April, with me and my other friends doing a vlog every day in April. Also check out the links down below, and we'll see you in the next Lab Rat Daily show on Throwback Thursday on Thursday. All right. So once again, my name is Megan, reminding you guys to get in the lab. We'll see you. Peace out.